All right. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about celebrities and very popular people once they get to that cross that line to popularity, why they all of a sudden, for lack of a better term, become mean spirited. That a good way of saying it? I guess. Who knows? Also, Instructor Novacaine is going to have a very special announcement. And later in the show, we're going to have our good friend JB come on as a special guest instructor. So don't go anywhere. We got a good show for you today.
Class is now in session.
Ring the bell. All right. Welcome back to the show. By the way, I'm Instructor BK Spades.
I'm Instructor Novacaine.
Let's talk about these celebrities real quick. Or would you like to bring up JB?
We could bring on JB since he already here looking like a JB.
Ladies and gentlemen, Morpheus.
I didn't have a good roast, so I just was like a good JB. I don't even know what I was going to say. I didn't have a good one.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Now, Nova, do you believe?
Red pill or blue pill?
You stop right there.
I got to do. What's happening? How y'all doing?
I'm pretty sure most of our viewers already know who you are, but go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
All right. As you can see down here on the little nameplate thing, it says JB versus the world. I am JB. I will fight anybody and everybody over my opinions. Respectfully.
True.
It's facts.
Respectfully. Yeah. I am a gym bro, podcaster, social media content creator. I review things. I also lift heavy things. I also am a defender of my friends. So, yeah. And I know things. I think that's it. That sounds me.
You forgot Twitter warrior.
Listen, I did. Look.
Heavy on the Twitter warrior.
We're going to talk about that.
All right. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about celebrities and how, or popular people, how they get popular and then they become like buttholes, like the mean people, mean spirited. It is I don't want to say a phenomenon because it happens so often and it's pretty normal. So we're just going to try to figure out why that is. Does anybody have an opinion?
Yeah. Even though we're talking about perceptions of power in this case, I think it's a proven fact that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this perception of power brings out people's true selves, especially if they felt like they were downtrodden or marginalized before they got to their current status.
I was just
that's
saying
pretty much that's a good hit, because that is pretty true though. A lot of the celebrities that we see now, especially within the nerd culture, definitely seem to have come from that marginalized arena in high school, you know, the you can't sit with us crew. And what's weird, especially within the entertainment space, it's almost like, I don't know, they feel like they have to exert that power to feel important, you know. But I also think it's important to realize that celebrities are just people, and whatever hurt normal people would go through, they would go through it tenfold, right? Novacaine?
Right.
I want to piggyback off of what JB was saying, pretty much the same exact way. Like, and I just never really truly understood it because I don't know why power is so important for humans. Like, somebody is always going to outdo you in something. Like, you're not going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection in our human life. So I just never really understood why people chase after it so much, on top of why is it important to them? Like, what drove them to that point? Why in their mind do they want to be accepted so much when standing out is so much better? At least in my opinion, it is.
Mhm.
True, but ego is one thing though, right?
Oh, for sure.
You
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like if your ego is inflated or your ego is hurt, especially within, I would say mostly on the male side for the most part. That's not to say females don't get ego hurt and have ego trips too, but most of the time, the most vocal about it is the men. You know,
We
we
got
see
several
it all the
examples in
time.
society right now of that exact thing. Bruised
Oh,
egos or inflated egos, and it's reflected in our media.
Yeah, social media has become like a wild place for that.
Mhm.
Because we had an episode about 2, 3 episodes ago, and I was saying that a lot of things we see on social media we don't see in the real world.
Mhm.
true. So it kind of goes to that timidness that you probably would have from being at that hurt table. You know, online you don't have a face, and even if it is your face, you can pretty much be whoever you want to,
You could
and
be whoever
because you're
It's
you want
jumping
to.
into
curated.
different communities. Back in the day when we were in high school and we graduated, we had to wait till we left home to become new people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's an organic, you go to
Mhm.
school, you learn some stuff, but then there's also that small group of people that's like, I have to reinvent myself. I've been through so much. People talked about me so much. Now I have a chance to be the person that I think I should have been that would no one else let me be, you know?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because when
Especially if you
you're
move to
in,
Atlanta.
that's the number
I think that's a
one,
lot. I think that's
that's the
one of those
mecca
things
of
a lot.
change.
I think that's one of those things that happens a lot in our Black community as well. Because think about, like, at least for me, when I was growing up, it was a lot of that. Don't say that, you're talking back. You can't say that, you're being disrespectful to like older people. So
Mhm.
it kind of like made me stop being who I am for a little bit. But of course, like when you get around your little friends, you do whatever you want to do. But it's like, but you can't fully be that person if you can't be that same person around everyone.
Can I add something to that? The
Hmm.
perception of us as Black people, like being told that we talk white as well because we
Oh
spoke
Oh,
man.
properly.
Ooh, that's the one right there.
child. I get that a
So
lot. I get that a lot, even till this day.
to this day,
Till this day.
man,
And I
that
don't
was
understand. I never understood it. Being raised, my mom always hit us with the you're gonna enunciate those ERs and those THs. And
hmm
I never quite understood why, but a lot of white people don't even talk proper. A lot of their subject verb agreements aren't agreeing.
No, especially
exactly.
down here in the South.
Some of them be sounding like
Especially
Daryl Dixon for real.
Yo,
or Boomhauer.
even I'm from here and
Oh,
I be lost
big
sometimes.
Boomhauer.
Big time on Boomhauer.
Especially in Georgia, especially in the Georgia area.
Especially Georgia area.
Mm.
Especially Georgia, Texas, your state, Alabama.
Don't
Like
See,
do
a
us
I,
like
lot of
that.
I don't even
No, I'm just
really
kidding.
see. I don't even really hear it so much when I'm here. Maybe because I'm in it. But when I went to North Carolina for school, oh my God, I was
ooh,
like,
North Carolina, a big one.
Oh,
what kind of JB in Wonderland is this?
it's
And you
it's
know what's
weird because
crazy?
no, go
You know
ahead.
what's
No, okay.
crazy? We do a lot of code switching, but like when I talk to these white people, I don't hear any code switching for them. They don't change the way that they speak just because they work in HR.
No, they don't have to.
Ooh,
Code
no,
Switch
they're
wasn't
the
made for that.
norm. They're the default, not the
They're the
norm. They're the
standard,
default.
right? For
Yeah,
True,
lack of better term, they're the standard.
true.
that's the standard that I disagree with. But facts is facts. That's how society looks at it.
That is
hmm
And
true.
as long as I've been alive, they've always been the standard before then. But they set themselves up to be that way. And I'm not saying it's on purpose from anybody in this generation that we interact with on a daily basis. But when we look at the construct of society in America and in other places, they run the media. And if you run the media, you fix the narrative. And then it goes from media to education, and from education to the everyday life. And
Yeah.
it's
hmm
just it's messed up how it's set up that way. But anytime anybody try to fight that or change that system or interrupt that system in any way, we are shunned, you are pushed down, and then they make it seem like you're unintelligent.
I would
Yeah.
also say there's like a subroute in there that bypasses education and still goes straight to social media as well, and
Oh
becomes
yeah,
part of the narrative that we push those standards. It becomes part of those conversations, becomes some of those social trends, which in a way you could say like works quicker than the education route that you spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
it
Because
does. But social media is everything in one. You know, it
Mhm.
Yeah,
is your
for sure.
entertainment space. It's where you get your information from. Different sites do different things, and then some sites do all things. Facebook does pretty much everything, right? And then you have
Mhm.
TikTok that has taught a generation of kids and the teens different
Mhm.
things. Even we learn stuff from TikTok. We had YouTube teaching us stuff.
YouTube
So it's
University.
like for real. And just how we all look at it. Like, what's the saying? You can learn anything on YouTube. And now TikTok is
But
taking that over
there's
in a
a
faster
huge
means.
it's a huge issue with that too, because I feel like no one does their extra research after that. So like
Yeah.
with the
No,
kids, they just
that's
taking it
right.
as face value when we were
Mhm.
even when we were taught, and we even say it on this show on this show, cite your sources.
All the
Mhm.
time. You got to, right?
You have to, because there's so much information out there that a lot of people are just going straight off of opinion. It might be a little bit of fact in there, but they'll throw a lot of opinion on top of that fact, and it gets lost somewhere. So you got to do the research behind it. Just like this
Mhm.
whole, it was this post floating around of talking about rest in peace SpongeBob. Now, one official site says SpongeBob was going off of air, like not one site at all. And all these people are like, oh no, people our age, oh no, SpongeBob, no. And it's like, what are you guys upset for? He's not going anywhere. He still will be here for the next season and probably the season after that. He's probably going to end up being one of the longest running animated shows ever. So
SpongeBob,
I
but I
don't
love
know.
it better.
Facts. So let me switch the gears on this conversation because we talked about how the things that impact on a personal level when they become, you know, whatever. So what happens when outside influences that, right? Like
Oh,
the negative side of it, especially with celebrities, right? Because we don't look at celebrities as if they're humans. We look at them as a machine because of the machine behind them. And we rarely think about the aspect of what constant paparazzi and what constant social media and attacks and all that could do to a person. And then once we push that celebrity over the edge, say Britney Spears, paparazzi was always coming at her, tabloids was always talking about her. We don't know the whole story with her and JT till just recently here. All that goes into the brain. It changes your brain because
mm-hmm.
you have
Mhm.
to always be on defense. You have to always pretty much hear something negative about yourself. There's a PR person telling you how to things, when things, and where to do certain things, and how to respond to certain things. And that might not even be the response you want to make. And all of a sudden, you just have this epiphany, just like, I want to be left alone. But guess what? You can't because you got to promote your album or you got to promote your movie or you just got to look like the super likable person that everybody on the internet wants you to be. And by the time all that stuff adds together, you're on pretty much evil mode. You're Anthony Mackie at the airport. No, I don't want to take no photos today.
First
And
of
then
all,
guess what the
I
internet
think that
does?
part I think that part was more of people just stepping over their boundaries, and he was tired.
But
for
I'm saying
sure.
that
But he's also
that adds into it though, right? Because you
yes.
don't
True,
have your own boundaries anymore.
Right.
Everybody
true.
does not see the boundaries that you have, and they overstep in every aspect, right? So now
Yeah.
and now since you said something or you stood up for yourself in that moment, now they're saying you're evil and you're not likable and you don't like people.
First of all, Anthony Mackie ain't likable. Second of all,
Don't come here with the Captain America hate.
No, it ain't about him being Captain America. I'm talking about Anthony Mackie, the Saints fan. I don't like him.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
There
There it
it
is.
is. There it
That is.
is.
Anthony Mackie, we love you over here. JB just tripping right now because you're a Saints fan.
I said what I said. Rise up. Anyway, just imagine living a life where you're told that your autonomy is diminished. Like, and I think that's what a lot of these celebrities go through. Like, they're like you said, like they might be told by a PR person to do something, to say something, to wear something, whether it's about money or a deal or some sort of like play they're trying to make, and their autonomy is just gone. Like in the case of Britney, like it totally stripped from her
Right.
for what, decades. Like
Mhm.
imagine what kind of thing that kind of thing could do to a person. Like Britney was told like she couldn't have but a certain number of kids. She can't do a certain thing with her money. Like, yeah, oh, dance a certain way, perform a certain way, do this thing, go out
Mhm.
to that person, eat this thing, promote this thing. And it makes you wonder, like, these celebrities, their talent brought them to the dance. That's what made them who they are. That's why they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And then they're told by the machine that, yeah, all that, like we're gonna do this. Like and I know it seems like you could lose your passion for your art form,
Mm-hmm.
your passion for life, your passion for just wanting to exist in that way. Like you can just be so drowned out by everything else around you.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think popularity is worth losing all of you for fame and money? Do you think it's worth it?
No.
Absolutely not.
Hell to the no. Hell no. But then
You're
I'm
not
just a
gonna.
regular person out here living a regular old life. Some people may feel differently because they want that power. They want that popularity. So they'll basically sell their soul to the devil to get
Yeah,
what they want.
like I I mean, I'm sure there's a give and take with it, especially if we're going back to like egos or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
one time, what was it? Last year, I got recognized for my content at MomoCon last year.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody walked up and said, "Oh, you're Jamie versus the world. I like your stuff." Oh man, appreciate it. Like completely out of left field, felt good. And in those types of moments, I can imagine, that being a constant thing, like you being told, like regarded, yeah, praised for
Yeah.
what you do being like a good thing, like all right, cool. But not being able to go to a grocery store with it, or being able
Yeah.
to just step outside, walk your dog, pick up your kids from school. Like I can't even imagine.
I can't even
Like,
imagine that.
No, I can't either.
man, I don't even want to live that life
Mm-mm.
at
You
all.
would have to you would have to hire people to do those type of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And which could
Would you?
cause a rift in your relationship with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because could you imagine the immense pressure of having to hire so many people just to do normal, regular, everyday things? Like we were talking about mind-changing events. That could be one as well. I mean,
Hmm.
look at MC Hammer, right? The money in all of it. The good person in that person is still there, right? The good in that person is still there. They wanted to be
He was
there.
kind of stunned out, but I feel you.
Yeah, but look at what he was trying to do, right? He was trying to support all his friends and all his families. You're not telling me that once a celebrity hit a top pinnacle, there's someone, a banker or someone from the studio, not telling them that, hey, don't be Hammer, don't be Hammer. And then they take that to heart because they don't want to be Hammer. You know what
Right.
I'm
And like
saying?
30 million, 30 MC Hammer, 30 million can't hurt me.
Yeah. And now you telling your family, nope, I can't pay that light bill because I don't want to be Hammer. And now you look like the butthole. It's terrible, man. I couldn't do it. I don't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it. I
I
wouldn't want to
wouldn't
be
want
that
to do
guy.
it either. Sometimes I think also when people become rooted in their power, what if they was this person the entire time and they was putting on a mask to reach that spot?
I feel
Oh,
like that's part of it. That's usually it. The ones that reveal themselves to be assholes. That's who they were all along. They just had the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to really show it. Power reveals.
true.
Like power only reveals who you really are. Whether
That's
you're
how I
like,
felt about Wale.
Mm.
what my cousin do?
So as you guys know, he from the area or whatever. And I really like Wale's music. I'm a huge fan of his music. But like when he was coming up and everything, when we were in the Dig Dug the Dig Dug era, the Nike Boots era, the what was the song? Poker Face with Lady Gaga. He
Yeah.
didn't really have that whole thing going on. He seemed very humble. He seemed like, he cared a little. But I wonder, I don't know if it's because he became more popular or whatever that drama was that happened with MMG. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened or what changed for him to become who he is when he shows himself publicly now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, I do. I think I like think about what you just said just then, and something we said at the top. It I said power, absolute power groups, absolutely. And also I just said like people like power reveals who you really are. And now that I say that out loud, I was thinking about it as you were talking. I'm like, that's a little bit hypocritical, but also that's layered.
It's layered.
Because
It's
like,
layered.
what is
And it's definitely situational too, like person to person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so back to Britney Spears. Anytime a child star, and I felt about this almost every child star. Anytime a child star is being molded, their childhood is snatched away from them completely. They're no longer looked at as a child; they're looked at as a check.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for whatever reason, like their parents were poor, their whole family was poor. They found somebody to bring their generation out of the gutter. The now generations after them can eat. So I look at that like at every child star. So now that you're an adult and you can make your own decisions, well, Britney Spears a little bit she just now been able to start making her own decisions again. What these past couple of years when she underneath like a conservatorship or something like that.
When in the beginning of 2024 when she got out, like end of
I want to
2023,
say it was this year,
beginning of
either
2024.
this year or last year. I can't remember, but it
Yeah.
was recent.
Yeah,
It was definitely recent.
we pushing the anniversary of it if we ain't passed it already.
But we ain't past it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we're starting to see a whole different her now because she can now start making her own decisions. Like when you're being used by these corporations, your parents, your whoever, the company, whatever, they're going to do whatever they need to do. They milk that money. I've been on this binge of Black Mirror, and it made me think about the Miley Cyrus episode, and that kind of she wasn't Miley Cyrus in the episode, but
Yeah.
she was a pop star. They were using her. They literally put her into a coma to still make music, but without what she was saying. Like it was just so crazy. Like it was.
Dang. They did Hannah Montana like
It was
that.
crazy. Black Mirror. Hey, listen, Black Mirror, crazy.
Speaking of Miley Cyrus, since we're talking about control of celebrities and their speech or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to get a little bit closer to your mic.
I'm sorry. Since we're speaking of Miley Cyrus, speaking of Miley Cyrus and talking about the control that she lost, Disney here recently they did the Disney Legend thing and they had her on there, right? And if I'm not understanding, she had a part in her speech where she brought up what is it, her second album, the black one, I think it is. I call it you know what I'm saying, the hip hop album. I think that's the album. Is either the hip hop album she brought up or the one right before. And when they re-aired the speech, they took it out of the speech you know, and it's stuff like that that probably would drive you mad and anger you to a degree, because why you doing it? You know, or why don't I have control of what I want to say? And you kind of played me. You let me say it, and then you took it away. Like, why would you do that?
Kind of like with Usher and the BET Awards.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and then
see,
they was
we pick on
claiming.
black. We pick on black in quotation industries too.
I hate how they were claiming it's because he was cussing. He only cussed them 2 times. One of them times he said shit, and they let that shit fly. Then he dropped the F-bomb, and then like the whole speech was blurred out.
That's crazy though. Like, why?
So then when I rewatched it, I shared it on. I actually uploaded it from a TikTok that I saw, and then Facebook tried to flag me talking about, so this is copyright, so we gonna put an ad in there. I don't care what you do, just make sure that the people see it. Like,
So
just let the people see it. But the whole speech was mainly about togetherness and being black and being a black man.
Unity.
And it was very uplifting. It was a very uplifting speech. And I'm just like, why did they let this happen? And I never watched the replay of the BET Awards to see if, they put it back in there. But I doubt it.
yeah, I doubt it too.
Very much doubt it.
Let's get this
BT is
conversation
evil.
back on the train. What would you go say your last word?
I said BT is evil. Aaron Magruder told us that a long time ago.
Yeah, he did. Shout out to Aaron Magruder.
I hope he's doing
That's
all right.
right there. Me too.
I think he is.
So basically, we either perceive popular people as being the buttholes that we think they are, or they're either not really that way, but or they're born that way. That's still possible.
Or they born that way.
Or they're born that way. So they're either we're perceiving it as that because we have our own personal hurt against something they did, kind of like how half the world is against J-Lo right now, or they're born that way because J-Lo too. I think she fits in both categories in that.
What she do?
It's J-Lo. The internet just don't like J-Lo anymore.
I don't like her singing for real, but I don't have a person that dislike her.
No, her acting.
I think it came from the fact that she kind of stole songs from people, right?
Oh, the Ashanti thing.
The Ashanti thing. I think she got it's a Mariah Carey song. That's why that she got.
Oh.
That Mariah Carey's ex-husband just gave to J-Lo. I think it was. That's another song that's out there. But then also she be perpetrating too.
She do be big perpetrating. What was she trying during the pandemic to do that love don't cost a thing challenge?
Oh man, that was such a flop. That was such a flop.
Girl.
You know how
rich like you.
Y'all know how everybody always talk about this whole conspiracy about Beyonce and the whole Aaliyah thing?
Yeah.
What if there's an actual thing with Selena being to make J-Lo famous?
Wow.
I think the time gap might be a little bit too wide there.
Is it though?
Might be.
Wait a minute. Allegedly. We don't know.
Allegedly.
We don't know.
Because what year did Selena die?
I'm about to Google it. It was in 96.
Yeah, that time jump is a thing though.
Yeah, one second. Was it 96? She was killed in 95. Well, I was thinking
when did J-Lo get signed?
Like 97.
Oh shit.
And
they're about the same age, right?
And they around the same age. And they both represent the Latinas.
I don't know. We're doing that thing we were talking about a second ago about how we perceive the negative on a celebrity, and then that pretty much throws into why they act the way they do. We're happening right now.
Because everybody always want to come for my girl Beyonce, and I just be like, Beyonce actually was grinding. Like J-Lo, she was just a dancer. That's it.
Who was sleeping with the right
That
people?
is it.
Allegedly.
And then out of nowhere, boom, Jennifer Lopez. I'm still Jenny from the block.
Do you know the
Excuse me?
audacity? Do you know the audacity of a person that has somebody taken out and then replaces them with the person that played them in the movie? That is
You know what I
wow.
mean? That would be
That
too
is
much right
wow.
there. That would be too much.
Especially since J-Lo can't really sing for real.
Allegedly. No, my bad. I take that back. Not
I'm standing
allegedly.
on that.
She can't sing. She can't sing. She's not a great singer. She could dance.
She
She
can
put on
dance.
a show.
She can dance her ass off for real. But it's like gun to your head. Name 10 J-Lo songs that you know word for word, bar for bar.
Jenny from the block.
Love don't cost a thing.
That one, Christina Milian. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
That's the That's the movie.
Before we switch gears, do we know any like movie roles where the person started out as a good person and then became like the butthole in the movie?
Like
All
besides
of those.
Scarface. Oh,
Scarface. Yeah, Scarface was one, right?
yeah.
That power
Almost all
corrupted
of
the
the
crap
drug
out of
lord
Scarface.
movies. Almost
Yeah.
every single drug lord movie.
I think in Scarface's joint case, that was who he was all along.
Think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have
What
a lot
about
to go on
Boston George?
beforehand.
I mean, before he was like broke, you know what I'm saying? Just came to America broke, always super ambitious, always super willing to get involved, super willing to overstep boundaries and not listen to people that know better, have more experience in the fields that he was, and almost got him caught up a couple of times. He got bailed out by a couple of things, or his likability, his charisma got him over. But yeah, I think that's who he was all along.
What about Boston George?
Ooh.
Don't ask me. I don't know who that is.
That's Blow. The movie Blow.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. Yeah.
I want to say that was. I'm leaning toward corruption. What do you think?
I'm leaning towards corruption. I think he was corrupted by all of the glitz and glam.
Yeah.
What's the show? The John Singleton show, the last one.
Snowfall.
Snowfall. I mean,
Yes.
he seemed
Corrupted.
like a pretty good dude.
Corrupted.
He definitely was corrupted.
He was corrupted.
He definitely was corrupted.
Oh,
And
we're doing.
He was trusting that agent too much too.
Oh, for sure. He had no choice after a certain point.
What about Sharpay from High School Musical? Because didn't she not start out as friends with the other girl, and then she went evil, right? Then and that what happened? Something like that.
He took that right.
Man.
That's almost any like coming of age story too. Now that I think about it, any coming of age story, you want to diss your old friends for the new friends that's not really your friends anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Love Don't Cost a Thing for a second? Can we go back to that?
That's actually a good example.
I'm just saying, man, that was I would say that he was corrupted. What's his name? Alvin Cannon. Yeah.
Alvin. That was his name.
Oh, this is another movie. Crap. We got to switch gears, but it's the one where they're in high school and they had the cheese on the ground, and his friend got popular, but he was upset that his friend got popular. Crap. It's a children's book, and I cannot think of the name. Before this episode, I was thinking about it.
Cheese on the ground.
Who took my cheese?
Okay, so in the part, there was like this cheese that's been on the ground in the elementary school for like years, and he was dared to touch it, and then he touched it and became a social outcast because he touched the untouchable cheese. You know how it is in elementary school. They have like stupid legends that you're not supposed to do something, and if you do it, even though it really means nothing, but it means everything to the kids type of thing. It's one of those. And I cannot think of the movie. And it's still on Disney. They got a show now. And I really can't think of it. And watch, after we get done recording, it's gonna come to me. Anyway, you want to do your announcement really quick, Novacaine?
Yes, I would like to make my announcement really quickly.
Hold on, I am gonna
As
make
you
you the
guys
solo.
know, as you guys know, I am with child,
She's pregnant.
and I'm getting close to that day. A lot of different things have been going on. Like I said, life has been lifing. A lot of different things have been going on, and it looks like I may be seeing my little baby maybe a little bit sooner than expected. So this might be my last episode for a while. But we're gonna see how everything goes and transpires in these next few weeks. I'm hoping I could do at least one more episode, but this looks like this is going to be my last episode until maybe next season, maybe the end of the season. We'll see. But yeah,
You got to get that button, man.
I miss my original little baby.
How do I?
No, this is not a goodbye.
I would say temporary. I was gonna say temporary goodbye. I was gonna slide that in.
Temporary.
So how do I say temporary goodbye? That's how it goes.
So announcement 1 is out the way, and announcement number 2 is drum roll, please. Temporarily replacing Novacaine will be JB versus the world host. JB, this guy right here. You. Yes, you.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
All right. So first things first, I could never replace Nova and everything that she brings to the show. I'm temporarily filling in.
Yes.
I'm temporarily filling in. I'm just, just sliding through for a bit. Nova's my sister. I absolutely love her to death. And I'm just glad I can help my siblings out, help my brother and my sister out. I want to just, contribute something while she's off, bringing life into the world. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. So let's have fun over here.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
It's gonna be. Hold on. Now I gotta do. Let me get one in. So I'm gonna zoom right now because everybody else zoomed. I ain't got nothing to say in my Zoom.
Tomato.
But yeah. So let's continue this show because we got to talk about.
That's all you had to say on that.
Yeah.
Well, your hair is shiny.
Thank you.
I'm jealous.
We got to talk about the cancellation of Star Wars Acolyte and
Let's go.
And the impact that it might have. So, out the box, since you're the guest here,
let's go.
JB, you got the flow.
All right, man. I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan. Have you seen any of my videos I've said, or just pay attention to me on my socials, which nobody really has, 'cause I'm not that big of a person. Anyways, I've said on numerous occasions that my godfather, when I was 3 to 4 years old, got me A New Hope on VHS for Christmas. And I have been a Star Wars fan basically my entire life. I watched it because I enjoyed it. I watched it even when I didn't know what the hell was going on. And as I got older and my expanding of how the world works, our world works, and then just applying those concepts and principles to like the world of Star Wars and my understanding of what the world that George Lucas was trying to bring to us, the galaxy that George Lucas was trying to bring to us, it expanded my mind and I fell in love with Star Wars all over again. And George Lucas has not been a part of Star Wars for many years. And Disney has taken over and has long since taken over. And ever since then, I have just seen nothing but whining and moaning about how Star Wars isn't for them anymore. Star Wars is too woke. This isn't their Star Wars anymore. And I just think it's utterly ridiculous that at this point, like the romanticism and the entitlement that the fan base has led to this. Now, I'll be the first to admit that Disney Star Wars has not always hit as the way that we thought it would, or the way that it should, and that's really okay. They got the new IP; they're still figuring out their footing with it. They're still trying to navigate how they can make money off of it and please the fans. I'm okay with that. I think that Disney Star Wars has had some misses. I
Hmm.
definitely think like the most egregious of those is the Obi-Wan show. If you want to fight with me about that, you absolutely can. We can go blow for blow. I have no issues with that.
We just had
But
a nice conversation about that yesterday too.
we did. But I think the Acolyte was not one of those failures. I don't think it was one of those blunders. I don't think it was perfect. I think it definitely had work to do. Definitely things they could have done to kind of tweak it and make it better. But one thing I do appreciate the Acolyte was it respected the lore. It respected the lore in a way that no other
Mm.
no other property on Disney Star Wars has to this point. And it introduced some new ideas without overstepping. It brought in things from the expanded and Legends canon that no longer exists in the Disney canon back
Yeah.
into it. And I appreciate it, and I love the show for that. I tried to, I was in the middle of doing an episode by episode review of the season, and I do think some of the writing could have been a little bit stronger, the acting could have been a little bit stronger, but
True.
I think it warranted a second season. And I'm gonna get to the point because this is what I've been building up to all along. Thanks for following along to this point. Welcome to my TED Talk. Um, I think that I know that a lot of the fans like didn't accept the show. And I would say like it's mostly the males. If I want to go a little bit further, I want to say it's the straight white males
Mm,
that didn't accept the show. Um, Leslie Hetland, the creator of the show, is queer white woman. So that's off the gate. And I think it's kind of funny that people brought up the fact that she used to be Harvey Weinstein's assistant as a thing, which would be a valid thing. We don't know her involvement in any of Weinstein's dealings, but most of y'all dudes don't care about Harvey Weinstein in the first place.
nope.
There it
Never
Keep
is.
it
seen
a
him in the
buck
discourse.
to use that as a actual talking point. So let's kill that noise. Amanda Stenberg, black, queer, and very vocal. That was also another strike against the show. People struck out against her immediately, and when she called out Star Wars fans, well, both of them called out Star Wars fans. That was another blow to the popularity of the show, or excuse me, to the potential success of the show, like in the social spaces. And there was no straight white male representation amongst the principal cast, the main principal cast, and that was
Yeah.
also a thing that hurt the show in
Oh,
its
can we stay there
perception.
for a second?
Okay.
Well, because 2 points here. One, they white male population automatically assumed that her character was going to be queer within the universe, which I don't even remember them even bringing up whether or not she was. Like it didn't matter if they did, but they didn't.
No,
Um,
they
even
they
before the show
alluded.
came out. Yeah, they did, but even before the show came out, man, these are her involvement because of the sexuality of the writer and the sexuality of the star. They assume this is going to be what they call lesbian Star Wars. And I
Mm-hmm,
seen them get upset about the mothers because
mm-hmm.
they have two mothers, and there was lore about that. They were upset about the witches that overall, and which is another reason I was upset at the community for that part, because why are you mad about the witches when the witches already existed this entire time? They
And
were in
on
the
top of that,
Clone
it's a
Wars, and we
witch
love
coven.
Clone Wars.
It's a witch
Yeah,
coven, not a warlock coven, not a magical
Mm.
community. These witches.
it just makes sense. We've seen the witches beforehand. They're
Mm-hmm.
not new. And in other media, there were no complaints about the witches existing. But now all of a sudden it's an issue. Like they were just nitpicking and finding things to be upset solely because there was lesbians involved in their Star Wars at the
And then
right
also, another thing I said, what they say, I saw a couple of buzzwords. Forced inclusion, and Disney's trying to make the Force female.
the
What?
force is asexual. Like that makes no sense.
The Force just is.
It's just
The
a
It
Force
thing,
is, yeah.
it does what it wants, and it always does what it
I'm
wants.
not even a fan of Star Wars, and I know that.
right? Like if that was one thing that everybody knows about Star Wars, they know the Force exists, and there's no real consecutive rhyme or reason for it. Like, and
No.
you're supposed to just accept it, and we've been just accepting it this whole time.
Anakin Skywalker is literal space Jesus. He ain't got no daddy. He ain't got no daddy. He was just like rolled
There
about
you go.
the mama tummy one day, like boom, here I am. Wow, lightsaber,
And
mass
nobody
murder, all
said
that.
nothing about that.
Huh?
Nope.
Nobody had nothing to say about
No.
that.
No, and like I'm gonna switch gears for a second because people complained about how Rey in the sequel trilogy was as a character,
I
and
saw
they
this
call her a
coming.
Mary Sue for being able to do things that the narrative showed on multiple occasions she was able to do. How was she an expert pilot? She lived on the shipyard. She played with a simulator for fun. How does she know how to fight? She's a girl living on an alien backwater planet, and she showed y'all directly that she knows how to handle herself. How come she didn't kill Kylo Ren? Kylo Ren got shot. He was slashed, and his spirit was split, and he wasn't trying to kill her. That's how she won. Like these are things that are in people's faces, but because they don't want to believe it or they don't like it, they automatically are like, it doesn't
It
matter what
didn't
it's. I
happen.
don't like it.
Mhm.
And I'm
They
like,
it's crazy
I'm
because
just
they
so
say
sick
they
of
want
it.
strong writing, and when the writing is there and it's not predictable,
Hmm.
they can't comprehend. If the writing's not predictable, they can't comprehend it.
Meanwhile,
Mhm.
flip side of that. So Ray has all that going for her. Never mind that in the episode 9, when Kylo Ren and Ray fought straight up, she lost. Never
Facts.
mind that. Now, flip to the other side. Luke Skywalker, my GOAT protagonist, my GOAT MC, beat beat Darth Vader in a fight after essentially 2 years of training, mostly in a cave. 2 years of
Mhm.
training. One of the most notorious murderers in the entire galaxy, who has 30 years plus worth of training under his belt. He beat
Hold
him
on.
in 2 years.
Allegedly, we don't know if he murdered that many people. No, I'm just kidding.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm sitting in this upper room, little baby.
Why you got to bring up the massacre of them kids, man? We ain't got to
Yeah.
keep reliving this as fans, okay?
Hey,
But
man,
no,
they
we got to
made
switch gears on this conversation a little bit because we got to talk about the aftermath of
yeah.
this show being canceled, especially within the Disney camp, because
Right.
we saw that Disney was on their way to, at least the rumors, allegedly, they were saying that they wanted to cancel some of the more experimental things that was going on between the MCU, Star
Mhm.
Wars, and the Disney camp as a whole, which ultimately means no diversity story writing. And what did Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, say?
He said that he wants to focus on the adventure and not the messaging that some projects would have.
Which
Boo.
ultimately means he don't want any messages within the story, which is like the dumbest thing you could say. No
Focus on
offense,
entertainment, he said.
Bob Iger is a smart man when it comes down to just making money. But
Mhm.
when your number one thing now is to let's cut out all the magic that makes stories advance, it's like, then what are we even doing here?
I'm going to quote
Mm.
Obi-Wan real quick. Is
Hey,
it
take your glasses
possible?
off.
Is Bob Iger the Sith Lord we've been looking for?
I think he might be, but Disney dodged the bullet with the man that was coming to really cut all this out.
Oh, for sure.
But what sucks about this is the aftermath that it's gonna have. One, we got just within Star Wars lore by itself, right? We saw
Mhm.
the setup for a younger, not the young version of Yoda, because they age differently. Grogu 50, he's still 3. So we saw the young Master Yoda, right? He's already a master, but we saw him. We saw Plagueis, the Wise coming. These are
Mhm.
major characters within the expanded lore that Disney cut out originally. We also saw we missing the advancement between what made this show and like the technical advancement into the current universe. So we're missing out on that as well. But most importantly is the fact that they canceled this. We're going to be missing out possibly on a lot of creative stories dealing with black people, black leads and women leads, because we've already seen a lot of this allegedly stuff supposed to be canceled, like the Marvels. Captain Marvel, the next movie, supposed to be canceled. We had already lost Black Widow a long time ago. What else are we going to be missing out on? A lot will be riding on the next Black Panther movie. A lot will be
Possibly
riding
losing
on
out on She-Hulk season 2.
possibly She-Hulk. A lot is going to be on the shoulders of Ironheart, which is an IP that's already going to have its battle with the white male racist community as a whole. So it's like
They already hated her in Black Panther too.
Like you said,
yeah,
like for them, it's like Tony Stark is Tony Stark to them. So they already had a hard time and still have a hard time accepting the fact that Shuri is smarter than him. They already have a hard
right.
time doing that. You're telling me that another black woman is basically to them Iron Man 2?
Mm-hmm.
That don't sit well. That doesn't not going to sit well with them.
You're right. And then there's well, it's another Captain America 4. Again, another black character that already existed, that they act like never existed before. They're mad that Bucky didn't get the shield.
Yeah.
And so now it's already going to be a hate campaign for that one as well.
Yeah.
So these next few years, as far as the few black leads we have, we're going to have to go out and support and enjoy and hope. And I pray that these things are great and these IPs are so great that they can't ignore them. Yeah. Also, Miss Marvel is possibly up there as well too. So,
and jumping back to the Acolyte real quick, and I want to make another point after that.
Okay.
Another thing that we haven't talked about to this point when it comes to Acolyte and what happened with it with Disney was the fact that it was being review bombed, like on every front, like whether it was content creation, whether it was like on Rotten Tomatoes, like episodes had negative reviews before they'd even dropped.
Which is weird to me why they didn't take that into consideration when they canceled the show. Which makes it look like there's another agenda at play here.
And its premiere episode had 11.1 million viewers, and that's the tops on Disney Plus this year. And its consistent ratings, it was top 6 to 8 for most of its run, like over like in terms of viewership. And people are saying that people didn't watch it, and the numbers are like right there. Like the thing is, ultimately, like the problem I have with this is like these are Googleable things that people are saying aren't a thing when it comes to like why it failed and how it failed. Like you could just go to Google and just look it up.
Well, that's you can't get
cite your sources.
Your campaign. It's like and last point because we got to close out the show. It's like the Assassin's Creed Shadow. Automatically people saying this game is going to be terrible, or the Star Wars game that just dropped by Ubisoft or is about to drop. Some screens and videos have dropped from it already, and people are already saying it looks terrible and it's going to be a crappy game. True enough, Ubisoft or Ubisoft, depending on what side of the aisle you're on, make some questionable decisions
for sure
on the funding side of things, but at the same time, talk about that pricing policy and problems. Absolutely, that's an issue. Your games cost too damn much. But if we're just talking about the quality of the game, you ain't got the real game in your hand. Now, after the game come out and you actually played it and it's terrible, say that. But until then, shut up.
Just shut up. How can you make an opinion of something you haven't experienced yet?
It happens all the time.
I don't know.
I hate it.
It's weird.
I don't know. I just think it's very if it speaks to like how we are as a people, how we've evolved as a species, how we now have multiple.
There it
Fact.
is.
It's crazy.
And then
It's
it be feeling
crazy
like
that
we
She-Hulk.
trying to outdo the next one.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Now,
It's crazy how She-Hulk can twerk and talk to the camera, and it's a problem. But Deadpool can dance and talk to the camera, and nobody has an issue. Even though, and then you say She-Hulk is copying Deadpool when She-Hulk was doing these things before Deadpool,
facts,
before Deadpool even existed.
facts, facts, facts,
There
facts.
it is.
I think it
Crazy,
just comes
crazy
down.
how facts work.
I think it comes down to this. When it comes to like She-Hulk, the Marvels, um, like and even the Acolyte, um, men hate women.
That,
Like
I wasn't
by
gonna say it.
by and large, I'm not saying it's general. I'm not saying it's every guy, but across not across the board completely, but by and large, men hate women. Men men like women for what they can do for them, for the services they can provide. But whether it's sexual or a support role or any type of gain, but a lot of these dudes that say they want to see women succeed or see women in strong positions, they really don't. They like women for what they can do or the positions they can be in, but front and center taking charge, men do not
Right.
like that.
Nope.
I don't think
Novocaine. Last
like
word.
I don't think Tomb Raider is as popular as an IP as it was if Lara Croft doesn't have big.
Oh no, that's absolutely true because that was always the selling point was her
Yeah,
polygon chest, and
yeah,
the marketing campaign was very sexual.
very
Um,
sensitive. She was in Playboy.
facts.
There it is.
Novocaine. Last word before we close it out.
I don't have really much to say about the acolyte, but I definitely agree on with JB on what he said. It just boils down to men be hating women. It's just how it is these days. Not all men, and they
No,
don't hate all the women, but the ones making the complaints, those are the ones. Those are the ones. Um, other than that, I don't really have nothing much to add.
Cool. So, society and pop culture people. It's my alarm.
That's an alarm.
Yeah, we gotta go, you guys. Thank you guys for listening to us. Make sure you tune in to JB versus the world.
I'm on
Novocaine.
hiatus. I'm on hiatus for a bit.
You still
I'm
do
still
your
gonna do my
shorts.
shorts. I'm still
You
gonna
still
do some
got
shorts.
videos up, so go
You
to the
still make
YouTube
your
channel and
content.
subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, we'll do that then. Yeah, my bad.
yeah,
Go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead,
Core
brother.
Kenshin Jr. Disappear. anyway. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all go support JB versus the world over on YouTube. He's putting out good stuff, some great nerd
Yes.
critiques. You heard him say it here. You guys for the show this week. It's always great to have you in. Novocaine, we're going to miss you possibly if you go.
Yes.
How
Because we love
do
you and we
I
can't wait. It's bittersweet. It's like
say
because
temporary
you got
goodbye?
you gotta go away, but you're going away for a great cause. Because
For a great cause.
I can't wait to see little Novocaine light pop out. See what
Mhm.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm hyped.
Little
I'm hyped.
supernova.
Yeah.
I'm very excited as well. Of course, I'm nervous, but I'm excited as well, and I can't wait. I might bring her on the show. Who knows? We gonna see. We gonna
Are we
see.
making promises you can't keep now?
Until
I said
then,
might.
You
I
did say
said
until
might.
might.
then,
That is true.
until
Probably
then.
not though. Might hit the Michael Jackson with the blanket on top. You know, I
Dangle her
might
over
do
the
that
camera.
and dangle her in front of the camera like that. But other than that, nah.
Un-
It's a baby.
Until then,
I was
goodbye,
gonna
Butterfree.
say, don't forget. I was gonna say, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on our YouTube. We need that traffic over there on YouTube. And then after you're finished doing that, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave us a like, a follow, and a written review, and a 5-star rating, so we know which way to glow, which way to grow.
And
Exactly.
make sure you go over there to Facebook and you like us over there. And
Yeah,
absolutely listen to us on Good Pods as well, because we like it over there at Good Pods.
we like it at
Um,
Good Pods.
yeah, go over there and join the Good Pods community with us.
Because y'all are a
I
good
have
pod.
to do. Anyway, it's about to get extremely nerdy for the next few weeks, by the way, y'all. I have been Instructor BK Spades.
I'm Instructor Novacaine. Don't
And
forget to cite your sources.
You got to say it too now. You hear it. So
Yeah, you gotta say.
Am I a professor?
You're an
No.
instructor.
I'm
yeah.
instructor. Okay. Oh, I get to build a gun. All right, cool. I'm Instructor JB.
It took us like 15 minutes to get to that point. Y'all be cool, man. Thank y'all for listening. We love y'all.
Stay black. Go to therapy.